really help them out.
Stay safe out there. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, and I appreciate you having me on.
Great to have Detective Alec Keegan, University of Illinois Police Department, our law enforcement official of the month.
Mental health challenges can take a toll on a person dealing with some serious issues. It can be difficult trying to find strategies to take care of a loved one. NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, has a free family-to-family 8-session educational program to share up-to-date information on mental health and how the brain is affected as you gain coping skills and problem-solving abilities. Recovery is a journey. Sharing experiences while getting positive reinforcement during the upcoming class with friends, family, and significant others who have mental health conditions can help you find hope. You are not alone. 988 is the mental health crisis and suicide prevention line. Support groups, conferences, social events, and classes that offer presentations, discussions, and interactive exercises can help. Visit NAMIChampaign.org.
It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
From Studio 2 at the worldwide headquarters of ESPN.
He's not lying.
This is Freddie and Harry.
Inside the locker room, like who decides the music? Like who gets to pick the song?
We used to have White Boy Wednesdays, like every team I played on. No, I'm just keeping it real. Like the people like real stuff. Our listeners like things to be kept real, so I'm keeping it real. We had White Boy Wednesdays. So on Wednesdays, it was the rock, the no. So you in there lifting weights and you're saying to yourself, how in the hell am I going to get on this squat rack today? So you'll save your squat day for another day.
Oh, God. This is Freddie and Harry.
Any girl you want, but either way, you're part of the best show on your radio. It's the afternoon cool edition of Freddie and Harry with Harry Douglas. I'm Freddie Coleman, presented by Progressive Insurance, and we are here on the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80. Do not forget about us and tune in until that smart speaker of yours to play ESPN Radio. 25 minutes away, we're going to dive into something that we probably shouldn't, but we're going to when it involves a certain team, meaning yours, and off-season wishes for your NFL team. That can open up a whole bunch of Pandora's boxes out there. We hear what you have to say in about 30 minutes at 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Real quick, Eric Hanna, one of our four horsemen, he dialed out Harry Douglas involving his New York Yankees when the New York Yankees manager Aaron Boone called the Dodgers classless. He didn't want to be bothered with what we were saying about the New York Yankees and his Yankees and the Dodgers. I just want to know, because I know how Shannon Penn, our other producer, and the other four horsemen Yankees fan like you, how he can be. I just want to make sure that you're okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. We reloaded, right? All that money that would have been spent on Soto went to Max Fried, traded for Devin Williams, brought in the veteran Paul Goldschmidt, MVP player Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger. I mean, we plugged some holes.
Oh, you're so adorable.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
So, E-Dog, like, do you have a problem?
You know Max Fried. You know, he was your guy.
That's right.
Right. Won a World Series with him.
Yeah.
A recent World Series. But that's,
Jeez.
I'll save that for another day.
No, go ahead.
I think you saved it for 2 days.
Like, when it comes to the Dodgers players, do you have an issue about how they went about things?
No, not only the two that we mentioned in the previous segment, Chris Taylor and Joe Kelly. I mean, you know, win with some class, right? Like, why are we bringing that stuff up? You know, using expletives, expletives.
So let me get this straight. They pointed out the frailties of your team, exploited those frailties, and talked about it, but they're the bad guys here.
They told the truth. They literally told the truth.
It would be one thing if they said it before the series, but they said it after the series. Oh, yeah, of course. We knew we were going to hit it right to Juan Soto and get a triple.
Yeah, so let me ask you this, though, E.
He's going to stretch into a triple.
Why would they say it before the series?
No, you're right about that. You're right, but like to act like they knew that they were going to hit a ball into the corner that Juan Soto didn't get to in time, just to get to the triple that was led to a sacrifice fly that should have only been a runner at second base. Like, you know, it's the game of baseball. Things are fickle.
He's not all right, by the way. He completely lied about a minute.
They could have been up
Yes,
3-2 going to LA, and they weren't.
And more than not all right. Continues.
They had to go steal Braves players to show them how to win. Recent winning.
Stealing is an ugly, ugly word. I prefer to call it creative spending.
Yeah, true.
Instead of stealing. I mean,
that's a great way to put it.
If the Braves didn't want free, but they got enough in their farm system, obviously the Yankees can benefit in that if they win the World Series in 2025, they'll maybe do it with
the Braves have enough arms, right? You guys have enough arms.
Exactly.
We can take free.
Yeah, people talk about worrying about the Dodgers.
No, we don't.
Yeah, you're doing your farm system. I think you can.
Yeah, our farm system we do.
I think those guys be ready by September, be the bane of my existence as a New York Mets fan. Well, Joe Burrow does not want the Bengals organization to be the bane of his existence when it comes to players that he needs that want to be paid and that should be paid. Not just on the offensive side of the ball when it comes to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase's wide receivers, but Trey Hendrickson on the defensive inside, one of the best pass rushers in the National Football League. He had a chance to be part of an extended interview on Pardon My Take, the podcast that was released on Wednesday. He was asked to describe his 5-year, $275 million contract extension that he signed in 2023. How much that could be altered, how the Bengals and salary cap flexibility, and also shouting out the Eagles as well.
I know you're going to be asked this a lot because obviously T. Higgins is a free agent, and they're going to be like, hey, Joe, will you take a restructure of your deal? I'm not going to ask if you're going to restructure your deal. I'm going to actually ask, what does that mean, restructuring a deal? Can you explain to us like we're 5?
Yeah, so you could do a couple different things. You could convert some of the money to a signing bonus, which will lower the cap hit.
Mm-hmm.
You can push some of the money to the back end of the contract, and then when you get to that lowers the cap hit, and then when you get to the back end of the contract, you can restructure it and convert it to a signing bonus.
Okay.
And then you can also just take less money.
And which one were you going to do?
We'll see.
The cap's going up.
You understand the cap?
I mean, not really, kind of.
Because we don't think that it exists.
Way more than we do.
Yeah.
Well, definitely some teams seem to make it feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints have just pretended it doesn't exist for a while.
And the Eagles are paying everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it seems like the way, whatever they're doing.
Oh, cheap and natty bingo.
So what he said, some teams make it seem like it doesn't exist.
Well, that was the one guy saying it, the one interviewing him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, you have some owners that feel like they need to hold on to every penny that they have. And I get it, right? When you have this investment and you're business minded, we see people tend to act like that, especially when they're a billionaire. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, Mike Brown, come up off the wallet, bro. Mm-mm. Like it's okay. Mm-mm. Like better your football team.
Mm-mm. He ain't doing that. I'll tell you right now. No. Mike Brown will wind up paying Jamar Chase. He's not going to open up that wallet after that for T. Higgins and or Trey Hendrickson unless they come down the kind of salary that they know they can command by going somewhere else, which means that both of those guys are going to be available. Mike Brown couldn't wait to give Joe Burrow that kind of money, and not saying he doesn't deserve it. 5 years, $275 million contract extension. But he had to have known the minute, especially based on previous results involving the Bengals and money, he had to have known the minute that contract was doled out that there was not going to be enough money left around for somebody else. Joe Burrow is always going to be willing to alter any part of his contract when it comes to his money because he knows what he has in Cincinnati, and he knows this team can do some things when and if they get in the playoffs in 2025. The only thing holding that back is the guy controlling the purse strings. And as long as they're the cheap and natty Bengals, that's why Joe Burrow has been loud and proud last week doing Super Week on the Pardon My Take podcast and say, hey, I may not understand the salary cap, but I understand you don't want to pay those guys, and that's going to really make things a lot harder for me to make this team a championship team that has never happened in the history of the Bengals.
So here's the bad part about that. You can be cheap all you want to be, Mike Brown, and when you should have paid Jamar Chase last season, you probably would have saved yourself millions of dollars.
Easily.
Now the simple fact that Jamar Chase in 2024 led the league in catches, yards, and touchdowns, we call it the Triple Crown, folks, it's going to cost you more money now. And that's money you probably could have put towards Trey Hendrickson or T. Higgins if you want to keep either one of those guys.
All those things sound wonderful on planet Earth. And on planet Cincinnati, that doesn't fly. That's not how they do things. Seriously, that's why I was really, really stunned when Joe Burrow got that contract that soon. I was like, wow, Cincinnati. Maybe they're welcoming themselves to 21st century finances when it comes to, man, we need to keep our playmakers. That guy's the biggest playmaker. That guy's the face of the franchise. And you can say, well, every quarterback is going to get that money or should get that money. It's different in Cincinnati. That's not what they do. They don't put those kind of contracts out there before your contract is up when it comes to contract extension. They rewarded Joe Burrow rightfully so because he never wavered on Cincinnati. He never wavered on the Bengals. Everybody's saying in 5 years to be out. He said, I ain't going anywhere. I'm going to make this work here. So now, hey, Cincinnati, that's Joe Burrow's way of looking at you saying, I laid it on the line for you. You better do right by me. Or you thought you heard it from me last week, and this week, you're really going to hear hell from me if you allow guys to go floating out the door when you know you need those guys and you can find a way to make sure enough guys get paid. We're not weakening this football team and what we're trying to build here in Cincinnati.
All right, so now we have two owners, right? We have one in Mike Brown that does things his way and doesn't want to give up the wallet. But we also have one in Jerry Jones. Even though Jerry Jones likes to pay his players, he likes to wait too late to pay his players, and then it costs him on the back end. And when it comes to 2024 in that season, it cost him Derrick Henry, because if you do Dak Prescott earlier, if you do CeeDee Lamb earlier, now you do have enough money to go sign a Derrick Henry. And I still felt like they could have made it happen some kind of way if they truly wanted to.
Absolutely.
You could have restructured other people's contracts and came up with the money. There are all kinds of things that you can do. And I do believe at some point, when people talk about this cap space, there are ways around it. Trust me, y'all. Yeah, there are loopholes and shoelaces you can put shoestrings through. There are all kinds of ways to get around the cap.
Yeah, that's why you have something called a capologist. That's what they get paid to do, how to try to maneuver the cap, try to make sure you can manifest it, whatever you have to do to make sure that you're not running up against it constantly and not being able to pay people. That's why the Eagles have been able to do what they've been able to do. That's why the Kansas City Chiefs have been able to do what they've been able to do. Yep. They know exactly, okay, that's the cap number, but how can we finagle it where we're not going to be up against it, but yet still pay the guys we need to pay and have other salaries to supplement our football team? That's what great organizations do. The Bengals have never been a great organization. They've had winning seasons in spite of how they've been run since they've been in the National Football League. And Joe Burrow's like, look, that was back in the 1940s. That was back in the 1950s.
You got to get with the times, guys, so we can be like the Philadelphia Eagles and hoist up that Lombardi. We got close.
Exactly. We got close. We still didn't win it.
We didn't win it, though.
Joe Burrow's like, I'm a Wi-Fi quarterback. You can't take me back to dial-up. He doesn't want to do that with Cincinnati. That's not what he wants, and that's why he's been a lot more demonstrative, saying what he's had to say about making sure Cincinnati does not fail him like he has not failed the Cincinnati Bengals. Harry Douglas, Freddie Coleman together on the Afternoon Cool, known as Freddie and Harry, on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Progressive Insurance. Here is a riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. That's an easy riddle. So learn more at Progressive.com.
Oh, my goodness! To the end zone, highlight reel. I've got some questions I want answered.
NFL questions and answers.
Oh, really? Give me everything you got.
With Freddie and Harry.
So we bring in Shannon Penn. We still wonder if he's still salty about the Yankees calling the Dodgers classless or the way they lost to the Dodgers. That's for another time. But he's got plenty of NFL questions and answers when it comes to the offseason in the AFC. He's got a fabulous five, and we start with
number one.
Number one, Harry, I will start with you. In addition to improving the offensive line, what changes do the Kansas City Chiefs need to make before next season?
So I think it's time for Travis Kelce to retire. You have to start planning ahead of time and start to groom another young tight end, whether you have to draft one, whether it's the first round or second round. This, in my opinion, is going to be a deep draft class when it comes to tight ends. But you're going to have to go out there and get you one of those athletic guys to be able to replace Travis Kelce. He's probably not going to have the same production, but you start to groom that guy to take over for Travis.
Yeah, that's number one. We know the obvious one is the offensive line. That's a big question, but that wide receiver room's got to be stabilized a little bit. I know Rashee Rice is going to come back. Xavier Worthy is a potential star in the making. But what are you going to do about Nuke Hopkins? What are you going to do about Hollywood Brown? They seem to always find the right guys if they can stay healthy. And Rashee Rice was on his way to having a monster season for Kansas City before he suffered that season-ending injury. So if he's healthy and Xavier Worthy's healthy and you add somebody else, then that wide receiver room is stabilized a little bit where maybe those big plays that we didn't see, we're going to see a little bit more with better play from the wide receivers and more healthier wide receivers.
Number two.
All right, Freddie, which contender lands Myles Garrett next season?
Boy, that's a good question. I'm going to say the Detroit Lions will make a run at him. You add him to Aiden Hutchinson. You got two bookends coming off that corner, 150 miles an hour. the Lions know that, man, we can't believe we're going to be that injured again. Like we had all those injuries on defense. You had a Myles Garrett to that defense, and Detroit's going to love him because that guy plays every snap like it's his last. If I'm the Lions, that's the contender I think has a realistic shot at Myles Garrett.
Yeah, so I'm going with the Detroit Lions as well. Aiden Hutchinson led this team in sacks last year with 7.5. Folks, he only played 5 games. So can you imagine Aiden Hutchinson on one side being relentless with the high motor, just being as physical as he can at the point of attack when he revisits the quarterback, and then Myles Garrett on the other side? Who are you going to double? You can't double both. So I think those two guys are going to be able to complement one another very, very well. Now, a secondary team, I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders. Ooh, why not? We know Dan Quinn likes to coach up the defensive line. He likes his guys to be physical. We just seen the Philadelphia Eagles win a Super Bowl rushing 4 guys. Why not bring them to the Washington Commanders where everything is looking promising?
Number 3.
Washington got enough already.
No, they don't. You can never have enough. He with the most toys wins.
All right, Harry. Which quarterback will start for the Pittsburgh Steelers next season?
Oh, I'm glad you're going first.
Oh. I'm going to go ahead and say Justin Fields. He's a guy that we definitely seen the run game be better. With him under center, he went 4-2 in his 6 games. He had 5 touchdown runs, 5 touchdown passes. Justin Fields had a year to understand and grasp that offensive system. So I'm going to go Justin Fields.
You're correct. I'll throw another one out there. This is just my gut talking. I think they make a run at Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh.
I think they make a run at him. I still wonder if they still trust Justin Fields that he can be the guy. Because if that was going to be the case last year, there was no need to try to insert Russell Wilson, add him to the mix and stir. And it stirred pretty well early. And then it was completely a bad mixture at the end. Aaron Rodgers, I know, is 41 years of age. Still can throw it a little bit. I can see that team maybe thinking about it. Maybe not making a run, but thinking about it when it comes to Aaron Rodgers.
Number 4.
All right, Freddie, since you mentioned Aaron Rodgers there, it looks like his time in New York is done. Mm-hmm. So what do your Jets do at quarterback next season?
They're going after Kirk Cousins. I firmly believe that. That's just I wish we could see Eric Hanneman's face when our producers right now who's
pay
a
us
fan like me.
Pay us for him.
You don't have to pay him for him. You'll wind up cutting him.
We need our draft picks in Atlanta. Pay us, baby.
You ain't getting nothing. You're going to cut him probably by March 1st, and then the Jets will swoop in and get him. You'll get a bag of balls, and you'll like it as far as that goes for Kirk Cousins because you're not getting any players in the trade.
But I don't want no balls.
Well, everybody, never mind. But I can see the Jets making that run at Kirk Cousins where they don't have to pay as much of his salary the way that the Atlanta Falcons had to make that. So I think that's going to be the guy. Not Tyrod Taylor. They'll draft somebody. But Kirk Cousins, I think he wears green and white next year starting quarterback for the Jets in 2025.
I'm going to go with a rookie. They're going to draft their quarterback of the future. Let's move on.
Number 5.
Well, speaking of the draft, Harry, what do the Tennessee Titans do with the number 1 overall pick in the draft? Or what should they do?
Okay, I firmly believe they need to get a quarterback. Will Levis is not the guy, but they're probably going to go with the best player. That's Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, whichever one they have number 1 on their board. It's a luxury to be able to have this spot. The thing about it is, if you're going to take Travis Hunter number 1, could you trade down and still get him and get draft capital for that number 1 spot? Mm-hmm. I would also say this. Aaron Rodgers isn't out of the question when it comes to the Tennessee Titans.
That is true.
Because you look at the system that Brian Callahan runs, it's a lot of empty wide receivers out wide when he was with the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow. That's something I believe Aaron Rodgers wouldn't mind playing in.
Here's what they're going to do. They're going to take Travis Hunter with the number 1 pick. What they should do is draft a quarterback.
Yep.
If you have a chance to have a quarterback, and I'm with you, Will Levis will have to take his mayonnaise and go somewhere else. But if you believe in a quarterback that's going to be there that should already make your offense better, you have 2 choices. It could be like Cam Ward of Miami, Shedeur Sanders of Colorado. If you want to trade down, Jackson Dart more than likely will be there between picks 15 through 20 if somebody wants to give you a haul to trade the number 1. But they should go after a quarterback. That's what they should do. They won't, but they should.
So let me ask you this. If you're the Titans, do you go with Will Levis 1 more year and then have the number 2 or 3 pick in the 2026 NFL draft where there are better quarterbacks coming out? Do you try your luck next year too?
So in other words, have the March for Arch? That's what you're telling me? If you believe in that, if you want to tank it and do it where the NFL can't call you out on it, what do you got to lose?
You don't have a number one pick often, man. Like
man. Back-to-back years more than likely. No one's going to be that bad in back-to-back years in Tennessee.
That's what I'm saying.
So take Travis Hunter, but what they should do, they should take a quarterback this year. Worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes.
I got one more bonus one, Freddie. I'll start with
Here we go.
Number 6.
Number 6 here. Houston Texans, right? What do the Houston Texans need to do next year to ensure that the C.J. Stroud sophomore slump, so to speak, doesn't happen again in his third year?
Get some offensive linemen. Full stop. There's nothing else. You don't need wide receivers as long as guys can stay healthy. You don't need a running back in Joe Mixon. You don't need a tight end. Dalton Schultz has got that taken care of. Lord knows you don't need anybody on defense. Those guys are really, really good on defense. You got C.J. Stroud. Find him some beef trucks that can block. Start there in free agency, draft, whatever. That's all you need if you're the Houston Texans.
So the number is 52. That's the amount of times that C.J. Stroud was sacked last year. Second most. Only Caleb Williams had more. Then we see them get sacked 8 times in a playoff game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So they got to do better. They got to protect the franchise quarterback. I'm hearing entirely too many times that franchise quarterbacks are getting sacked because the offensive lines are mediocre and Come on, teams, do your job.
He was able to get your team to the playoffs and a playoff win behind that offensive line.
I know.
Imagine what he can do if you actually have guys who know how to block in front of C.J. Stroud. He is Harry Douglas. Hit him on Twitter at HDouglas83. I'm Freddie Coleman. Hit me on Twitter at Coleman ESPN. It's the afternoon cool known as Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. But it's time for us to hear from you. Whoever your NFL team is, give us the offseason wish list for them. Play Santa Claus when it comes to your team like this.
You got something to say?
Okay, listen up.
Call Freddie and Harry now.
Stop listening to my words and let me talk.
1-888-SAY-ESPN.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
That's 1-888-729-3776.
We hear from you when it comes to the offseason wish list for your NFL team after you hear from Harry Douglas, who has this word for you from Grainger.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer all your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner, Freddie, can help you keep your facility safe and your people safer.
What?
So call clickgrainger.com or just stop by, folks.
What?
Jesse Owens ran so Alice Coachman could fly. Most Americans know the story of Owens winning 4 gold medals at the 1936 Berlin Olympics, striking an early blow against white supremacy of Adolf Hitler. Even after Owens became a hero, opportunities for women athletes, especially black women, remained slim. But down in Albany, Georgia, a teenage Alice Coachman was running barefoot through the fields along dirt roads so fast that she broke college AAU records while still in high school. Coachman starred for the Tuskegee Institute, but was denied Olympic glory when World War II canceled the 1940 and 42 games. In 1948, Coachman finally seized her legacy, winning the high jump to become the first African-American woman with an Olympic gold medal.
Honoring Black History Month on ESPN Radio.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
With Progressive customer service, there are lots of ways to connect with us, so you never have to miss a second of your favorite sport. Because you'd much rather watch a ball go through a net 124 times in 48 minutes when you don't really have to pay attention until the last 2, and then somehow those 2 minutes will take an hour. You don't want to miss all that. Luckily, you can chat with Progressive on our app, online, or over the phone without missing a single one of those times the ball goes through the metal circle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Tim Onstott, talk to me about Dedicated Diesel and Dixie Chopper. Anything new here?
Hey, we have no snow on the ground over here now. It's melted off. You can see the grass. It's time to think about mowing it here in a couple of months. But now's a great time to get over to see Andy and get your Dixie Chopper picked out. Make a deal with him. Financing available. There's discounts for first responders, all kinds of things. Andy can run through that and help you out.
And Gale Ferrex Trucking, how's everything?
Oh, we're trucking along. It's busy right now. We have 2 empty seats. I think we filled one up last week. We had a nice young guy come in and get set up, and he's going to be going out here in a week or so, and that'll leave us 2 seats for somebody that wants a guaranteed gross pay for the week and wants to have some home time and be able to enjoy his family also.
Awesome. And how do they contact Tim Onstott?
They can get me at Timo, Timo, at gftlog.com or call the office at 765-793-7131.
You've set your financial goals. One kid plans to go Big Ten, the other Ivy. Your bucket list includes seaside sunrises and sunsets on the slopes, or perhaps a second home away from it all. Busey Bank can help develop the right investment strategy to take charge of the years ahead. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Our friendly sales team help you to find just the right appliance, just the right price.
I'm Paul Reekin, and you know my dad, Dennis, for the famous
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one. That
Wow
is a Central Illinois tradition, decades in the making. It's our award-winning staff that puts the
Wow
in Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We have in-house service, in-house appliance installation, a knowledgeable sales staff that will make sure you get the guaranteed best deal on your next appliance purchase. Oh, and let's not forget, a jingle that's been around for decades. Just like the quality service we provide, I'll make sure it's here for decades to come. We're the store that makes you say,
Wow!
We stand behind what we sell, we offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
NAMI Champaign County seeks to improve the lives of individuals who are living with mental conditions. With education, support, public awareness, and advocacy, the National Alliance on Mental Illness has been supporting families since 1983. A free in-person 8-session educational program is coming your way to help families, significant others, and friends of people with mental health conditions. Learn strategies for taking care of a person that you love. Details can be found at NAMIChampaign.org. You are not alone.
When Ross went out, I always told him to be careful, and that was the last time I got to see him.
Because someone didn't slow down and move over. Ross had on a bright orange shirt with reflective stripes the night he was killed.
He always had that smile. He just lit up the room when he came in.
Slow down and move over when you see flashing lights. Everybody is somebody.
When you see lights flashing, use caution passing. Let's all go home safe tonight.
Illini fans win free tickets. Stevie J Broadcasting has teamed up with Express Employment Professionals, your local link to top talent opportunities. Text Illini to 217-359-2255 for your chance to win tickets to upcoming home games. That's Illini to 359-2255. Express Employment Professionals, respecting people, impacting business at 1001 North Mattis. Express Employment Professionals says, go Illini. Visit expresspros.com.
Great candidates with ZipRecruiter. This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A couple of days after the Chiefs' Super Bowl loss to the Eagles, tight end Travis Kelce says he'll take some time and then decide whether he'll be back for a 13th NFL season in Kansas City. On the New Heights podcast episode released today, Kelce said he won't rush into anything, added if he does return in 2025, he needs to be all in. ESPN NFL analyst Andrew Hawkins.
I'm telling you, as a player, the last person to be convinced that your skills are fading is yourself. So the fact that he's acknowledging that he's watching himself not be the same player and have the same success tells you how real of a conversation he is having with himself. So if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I definitely start to prepare for life after Travis Kelce because he's truly in contemplation mode.
The week before Super Bowl 59, Kelce said on more than one occasion he did plan to play next season. Ohio State's finalizing a deal to hire former Lions coach and Patriots defensive coordinator Matt Patricia as its new DC, according to ESPN's Pete Thamel. Yoshi Yamamoto likely starts for the Dodgers when they open the season March 18th against the Cubs in Tokyo. Roki Sasaki could make his major league debut the following day.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you which teams are contending and which teams are rebuilding in 2025. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Jump. What you waiting for? Yeah. Jump. What you waiting for?
Yeah. He's Harry Douglas. I'm Freddie Coleman on the afternoon cool known as Freddie and Harry, presented by Progressive Insurance on Sirius XM Channel 80, as well as tune in and don't forget to tell your smart speaker to play ESPN Radio. So what is the offseason wish for your NFL team? We hear from you like this.
You heard from us.
I love talking.
Now it's your turn to weigh in.
Hello, you're on the air.
1-888-SAY-ESPN.
Hello?
1-888-729-3776.
One of our favorites we have not heard from in more than a minute is Laverne in Chicago. Mr. Laverne, what's up, my friend? And tell us your team and the offseason wish list for that NFL team.
No. Before Mr. Laverne even starts, I can't believe he been ducking and dodging us. We've been waiting on him, and we ain't heard from him. After the Laverne, give us your truths.
Bruh, you're right. I've been ducking and dodging, but also been working, man. Hey, like Freddie said, pull a beef truck up to Kansas City and just drop about 5 good linemen off. Anybody that's weighed 350 or better that can block or just stand there and hold a defensive lineman in place, I'm good with it.
Laverne, let me ask you this, though. Watching that Super Bowl, because I did not think it was going to play out like that, and the way that offensive line got manhandled, give me your reactions on Super Bowl Sunday. What was going through your mind? I don't know if you were around people, but give the people some insight on how a faithful Chiefs fan felt in that moment.
I'll put it to you like this. My wife kept asking me every quarter, what's the score? What's the score? And I turned the game off in the third quarter.
Wow.
That tells you how I felt.
Yep.
I felt bad. I started watching everything else in the basement besides the Chiefs game. I mean, at 24-0, my wife said, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, baby, it's 24-0."
So what were you watching?
She kept teasing me the rest of the day.
So what were you watching in the basement? What else were you watching other than the game?
Reruns of Yellowstone.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's when you knew the game was over.
When Kevin Costner's on your TV, going back in the day, that's when you know it is a bad day for your football team. One of our favorites is Mardi Gras Bob, not only from New Orleans or Nolens, but from NOLA. Mardi Gras Bob, you know you're a Saints fan. What's the offseason wish list for your Who Dat Nation?
Well, yeah, gentlemen, pleasure to visit with you. Harry, thank you for reaching out while you were here. Everyone was super busy. Maybe next time you're in town, we'll figure that one out.
Yes, sir.
Pull out the power cord, leave it off for a minute, and then plug it back in, then press Control-Alt-Delete a few times. Sell every asset that could possibly have any worth, and tank for Archie Manning, number 2, to take the center under the Saints. We just need to rebuild from the ground up. We got to get out of cap hell. We got to get younger than I think our average age qualifies for AARP on the roster. So we got to get under the cap, affordable, and a quarterback. But other than that, it's great.
Mardi Gras Bob, you just made a light bulb go off in my head, and here's the reason why. This is going to be a multi-year process when it comes to Kellen Moore and trying to develop this football team.
Absolutely.
When he said Control-Alt-Delete and reset things, we got to remember Archie Manning and his grandfather, Archie Manning, played for the New Orleans Saints. There's a lot of history when it comes to the Mannings in the city of New Orleans. That made a light bulb just go off in my mind.
If you're gonna
really did.
If you're going to march for Arch, no better team to try to do that. That's in a position to do that when it comes to the boys down in the Bayou and the New Orleans Saints. Heath in Illinois, give us your NFL team. And Heath, what's the offseason wish list for that team?
My NFL team is the Green Bay Packers, and my wish is to get some better wide receiver help. Josh Jacobs been putting some feelers out there. Maybe we get Devontae Adams back, and he'll bring Max Crosby with him from the Raiders.
That's not a wish list, man. That's a menu.
Yeah. And what he's talking about, folks that are listening right now, Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, you can listen to us on every platform, is basically Josh Jacobs, on his Super Bowl tour, basically said that they need a true number one wide receiver and not just multiple guys being Johnny on the spot and trying to get the job done. Now, there was a little pushback by wide receivers on the team that felt some type of way about it. But, hey, this game don't care nothing about your feelings. Josh Jacobs spoke his truth. Now, still being on that football team, you wish he wouldn't have said it like that out loud.
Sure.
But he was speaking his truth.
Because that was his message to say there's a guy that wants to come back in Devontae Adams. That's exactly what that was. They can take it as a slight all they want. I know I would. But the truth of the matter is Devontae Adams is still a difference maker. And with the right team and the right offense, especially one that he knows, that could be exactly what the Packers need to help out their quarterback and also help out Josh Jacobs in the running game.
And I do want to give Andrew Hawkins a lot of credit, right? Because I can't remember what week it was. He was on NFL Live, and he basically touched on this. Yes, you can go to a lot of different guys, but when it comes to certain junctures of the season and certain moments, you want to be able to have that number one target that you can lean on, no matter if he's single, double team, triple team, can make contested catches. And when you look at the Green Bay Packers, they did not have that. Even though they have some young, promising guys, they didn't have that true number one / Devontae Adams like they did in the past.
Yeah, because everybody knows the ball's going to him, and you still can't stop it. That's what a true number one is. Dan, speaking of Green Bay, Dan in Wisconsin. Dan, who is your NFL team, and what is the offseason wish list for that team?
Well, first of all, fellas, can I please give y'all props? You guys are the Mount Rushmore of talk shows. I used to call in when you guys first started, and I get the answer, the phone call answer right away before I even stop dialing the numbers. But now I'm dialing. All I get is busy signals. The 10 straight. They must got something going on here. I definitely appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
My team though is the Tennessee Titans there, and these last couple of years, 3-4 years has been painful. Yeah, AJ Brown winning Super Bowls. You got Derrick Henry slapping people like Mo used to slap Larry and Curly with his stiff arms, and now we ain't got it. So Will Levis got to go. Him and his mayonnaise sandwiches. I would like to go after Justin Fields, to be honest with you, and then trade down because you can still get Travis Hunter, too as well. And plus, you got a lot of money under the cap, too. So I build that way.
So that's not a bad idea, especially. You take a chance on Justin Fields. If you hit on something, then you keep him. If not, then you're probably going to be drafted in the top 10 again, and you can choose your quarterback of the future in 2026 because that draft class is way better than what we're seeing right now in 2025 when April comes.
We're going to see a lot of teams that they have a young quarterback or they believe they can get a young quarterback will start to build inside out. Because the Philadelphia Eagles and other teams have shown them the way. And how many times we see that the NFL is a cycle league. If you're doing something successful, everybody's going to want to do it. The Eagles' offensive line and even the Ravens' offensive line, building from the inside out to help out your quarterback. That has worked pretty well for the Eagles winning the Super Bowl and for the Ravens, except in the playoffs the last couple of years. Marshawn, one of our favorites in Iowa. Marshawn, we know what your NFL team is, but we'll let you tell it. And what is the offseason wish list for that team?
What's going on, my dog?
That's good, my brother.
Hey,
how
man,
are you?
I am so sorry that I did not call y'all Monday. We had a bottle of 1942, a bottle of Don Julio Reposado. We had two of them. And it took me a couple of days, man.
I bet it did.
I need some information. I know I owe you guys a whole pan of macaroni. We got to work that out.
I need that.
Yeah.
Dead serious. But on the end, you guys, I'm a big Chicago Bears fan from Chicago, and I keep hearing this name Ashton Jeanty. Now, I like DeAndre Swift too, but I feel like since the Bears went ahead and got Ben Johnson, why not bring Jeanty in there to have a dual threat running back? You know what I mean?
So I would say this: the only problem with that is the Chicago Bears, they have to focus on the offensive line.
Okay.
You have to take an offensive lineman in the first round. Now, this is such a deep running back class that you can probably get another running back in other rounds. I just feel like, especially for your quarterback, Caleb Williams, what Ben Johnson wants to do, which, number one, make everyone in that organization understand when it comes to the offense that we are running the ball first and the pass game is coming off the run. They're going to mirror one another.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, you got to have the right offensive lineman, because they do have some free agents that are on the O-line.
Yeah.
But you have to get that offensive line right before you can say, you know what, I'm taking a running back in the first round.
Yeah, they need a left tackle and a right guard when it comes to Chicago Bears. And you got a quarterback in Caleb Williams. You get that offensive line building from the inside out. The running back may not be Ashton Jeanty, but there are not a lot of scrubs in the running back class in the second, third, and fourth round that can be potential difference makers behind the right offensive line.
So when it comes to the 2025 NFL draft, the best position of all positions in this draft is the running back position. I never thought we'll be saying that.
Well, the good thing is we are saying that because NFL teams, like we mentioned, things are cyclical. Yep. All of a sudden, the running game is back in vogue and building from the inside to the outside. You did not get through on the phone at 888-729-3776, 888-SAY-ESPN. Hit us up on Twitter, Coleman ESPN, and at H. Douglas83. The offseason wish list for your NFL team. Let us know what team that is and what you want on the offseason wish list at Coleman ESPN and at H. Douglas83. And what kind of wish list will Travis Kelce have when it comes to his future inside, outside of football? That comes your way in about 20 minutes. But we go back into the past and bring you to the future involving the Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton, and Steve Smith Sr. It may not be an MMA event, but it should be. That's next on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
College Basketball Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's an SEC showdown in College Station.
Step back, left wing three, high archer, good!
The Arkansas Razorbacks go head-to-head with 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Coverage begins Saturday morning at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. Presented by Robinhood.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I'm in a slump. My energy took a nosedive out of nowhere, and I just don't have the motivation to get things done.
You're over 40. Could be lower testosterone. Have you tried Nugenix Total T?
Nugenix, the testosterone booster on TV?
That's right. Look, I felt the same plunge in my energy after I turned 40, so I tried out Nugenix to see if it would help me.
Did Nugenix make a difference for you?
Night and day. My stamina's way up now. I'm building lean muscle at the gym. I'm totally back on my game. And you could be too. Just send a text to Nugenix. They'll send you a complimentary bottle so you can try it for yourself.
Text EDGE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text EDGE to 321-321. That's EDGE to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
So Tim, he's in charge of Dedicated Diesel and Gale Frericks Trucking. Let's begin with Gale Frericks Trucking. How are we doing?
Oh, we're doing real good. We got a bunch of great guys. We work together, and it's how things are done around here. If we need to fix something, we face it head on, we get it fixed. And that's the kind of guys we're looking for, that really want to service the customer and want to do things right and want to be successful. They want to make good money. They want to be home with their families on the weekends, and that's the kind of guys that we need here.
As far as training and GFT, they kind of go hand in hand, and you got everyone very experienced on your crew.
Oh yeah, it's a great team, and even the ones that don't have much experience, we're teaching them the right ways to do things, and that goes a long way. We don't just tell them what to do. I'm a teacher at heart, so I'm teaching them why we're doing it. That really hits home with them. They appreciate that. It just makes things run so much smoother.
How can people reach Tim Onstock?
They can get me at TIMO@GFTLOG.com or Dedicated Equipment on Facebook.
Now at Jets, order any 3-topping pizza and get $5 off. Just use promo code 3TOP when ordering. That's the number 3, T-O-P. Want to impress family and friends and spend less? Get creative and build your own 3-topping pizza with their favorites for your holiday gatherings. Available in deep dish, thin crust, New York style, or hand toss round. Any 3-topping Jets pizza for $5 off with promo code 3TOP. It's a deal. Jets, better because it has to be.
Are you tired of shivering in the winter? Look no further than your local heroes at ABC Heating and Air Conditioning. Hi, this is Gina inviting you to give us a call at 217-352-5400 to book your appointment to make sure your furnaces run safely and efficiently this winter. We've been proudly locally owned and operated and have been serving our community for over 50 years. ABC, always be comfortable. Call me 217-352-5400 to book your appointment today or go to abcheatingandac.com.
Good morning, First Federal Savings Bank. How may I direct your call?
Speak with friendly, real people during lobby hours. It matters when you call First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. A real person located at the bank. Not a recording answers your call during lobby hours. Personal, friendly service makes a difference. 217-356-BANK.
Thank you for calling. Have a great day.
Rated 5-star superior by Bauer Financial, Inc. Fast, friendly, and local with local loan decisions and underwriting. If you're not already banking with us, give us a try. We think you'll love it here. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 435120.
Sam, the world needs heroes. Here I am.
Get tickets now for the first Marvel movie event of the year. Let's go! With Anthony Mackie.
I'm going in.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Stand by for proof of that.
And Harrison Ford.
I'll show the world I've changed.
You want me? Come and get me! Captain America Brave New World. See it in IMAX this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG-13. This film may be inappropriate for children under 13.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
There are some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a large unexpected inheritance. An always on the verge of death phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone. Up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard so you can get a new one. Just trade in any phone from our top brands on any unlimited plan. With new line on My Plan. Additional terms apply for trade-in and pay off your phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Harry Douglas and Freddie Coleman together in the afternoon cool, known as Freddie and Harry on Sirius XM Channel 80. Don't forget about us and tune in and tell that smart speaker of yours to play ESPN Radio. Don't you just love when beefs just never end? That's the case with these two guys who used to be a part of the Carolina Panthers organization. Quarterback Cam Newton and wide receiver Steve Smith. Now, Cam Newton was on the Travis Hunter show on Overtime, and he discussed, I'm a Heisman Trophy winner like you are. You could potentially be the number one pick in the NFL draft, and especially because you're the top pick because that team was the worst team in the NFL the year before. Check out what he said to Travis Hunter about what he stepped into when he was drafted number one by the Carolina Panthers way back when.
When I was the first pick, I went into a locker room of losers. Let's put it in perspective. You're the top pick because that was the worst team in the NFL the year before. For me, I wanted to be the number one pick. You could potentially be the first pick, but bro, you have no way of impacting the game like a quarterback does. You can lock down the number one receiver. You can make impact plays on offense all you want, but it's still not like a quarterback. My issue is when I was the first pick, I went into a locker room of losers. Guys didn't know how to win. Guys didn't know how to prepare. It was a culture shock for me. The games don't mean a lot to a lot of people in the league like you would expect. It's just money. Not everybody has capabilities to be impact players. They're just players.
He doubled down the word losers twice being drafted by the Carolina Panthers. Twice.
Okay, so that's my first time hearing the soundbite.
Okay.
I'm hoping, and I know Cam, and I know Steve Smith. I know both guys very well.
You might need to play referee.
I'm hoping Cam didn't mean it the way it sounded because it doesn't sound right.
It doesn't smell right, yeah.
Right, because number one, everyone's in the National Football League for a reason, and it's not because they're losers. Now, the best way to say that is that I went to a team that wasn't winning. To call everyone losers, I can understand why Steve Smith feels some type of way. And y'all, I was just with Smitty. At the Super Bowl. Smitty is one of my favorite players all time NFL wise. And me and him were talking about how he gave me his jersey and my wife washed it and how he has to re-sign it, that whole nine. But one of the reasons why I respect him, because Smitty don't tolerate BS from anybody.
Absolutely.
And Cam's the same way, right? He's from the south side of Atlanta, went to Westlake High School. I just hope both of these guys can, talk this out. Because I understand why Steve Smith would be upset about the way that was said.
Because he responded on Twitter like this, and I quote, "None of us are perfect. Yes, we were 2-14 before you blessed us with your presence. The way you have talked about the Panthers lately, I'm very disappointed," end quote. Former defensive end, Charles Johnson of the Panthers. He didn't mince any words. A professional calling his teammates losers will never sit well with me. Don't care what no one says. We all battle together, not just one person. It's never one person who will win a game. That's ego talking, team game, respect the guys, end quote.
Well, and the key word is respect, right? You have to make sure you respect the guys that came before you, respect the guys that you played with, because at the end of the day, just use the Cleveland Browns. Yeah. Those players aren't walking in every day because they want to lose, right? But maybe at that time, they just didn't know how to collectively win as a unit.
Sure.
But eventually they got it going. And Steve Smith is a guy who played in the Super Bowl, right? With Jake Delhomme or whatnot, the whole nine. So he's not a loser. He's someone I look up to. So I don't look up to no losers. So it could have been said in a better way by Cam, in my opinion.
Well, Cam Newton is never going to mince his words. And there are people that tell the truth and there are people that keep it 100. Whatever he has in his mind is going to fly out of his mouth.
But see, that's what I'm saying, though, Freddie. But the way I'm hearing it, how fast he's talking, now I could be wrong. I don't think he meant it exactly that way.
Here's something to that, and let's keep it real here, like he does. He's doing exactly what he does on First Take each and every week. This is no different. It wasn't to this level when he played in the NFL and when he first got in the NFL, but he has seen his star reestablish itself by what he's done on First Take each and every Friday, hanging out with Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp and Molly Curum. Not criticizing it, just explaining exactly what it is, that he has become what he always feared that he would become, a media personality. And when you say things in the media, especially to that effect, that plays into exactly what he's been able to do to reestablish his personality and his brand on a network level each and every Friday on a very, very high-profile show that First Take is.
And I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, right? Because I went to the Tennessee Titans when they weren't a good organization, and I just can't find myself, and Jason McCourty was on that team, and J-Mac went on to play with the Patriots and win a Super Bowl, but I don't think I would ever say, hey, I was on a team full of losers.
Right, because
I was with an organization at the time who didn't know how to win.
Right. And
is the best way to put that.
And if I'm Steve Smith and Charles Johnson, I'm flipping it back on Cam Newton and say, well, you're not for nothing. We were 6-10 the first year you were here. So if you came to a bunch of losers, you didn't make us winners right away. You were terrific playing as a quarterback the rookie season because he was must-see TV for me each and every week. I knew Carolina had no chance of winning games. I didn't care. I love watching Cam Newton. But if you're going to use that losers tag, you didn't make them winners right away either, Cam Newton, when you got there. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Not trying to get in the middle of it.
I might have to hit my boy Smitty up and see if he want to come on Freddie and Harry.
If he does, man, believe me, we're going to have the dump button ready constantly.
That's my too.
If he's going to talk about that, he's going to keep it 800, not just 100.
And I love every bit of it, too.
Yeah, we'll see how much we have him on the show, and then things go haywire in a good way. Travis Kelce is keeping it 100 as best as he can when it comes to his future inside or outside the NFL. We'll get to that next on Freddie and Harry.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GO to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Friendly sales team help you to find just the right appliance, just the right price.
I'm Paul Reekin, and you know my dad, Dennis, for the famous Wow. Yeah, that's the one. That Wow is a Central Illinois tradition, decades in the making. It's our award-winning staff that puts the Wow in Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We have in-house service, in-house appliance installation, a knowledgeable sales staff that will make sure you get the guaranteed best deal on your next appliance purchase. Oh, and let's not forget, a jingle that's been around for decades. Just like the quality service we provide, I'll make sure it's here for decades to come. We're the store that makes you say, Wow!
Stand behind what we sell, we offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Happy to welcome to our studio Detective Alec Keegan. He joined the University of Illinois Police Department in January 22, promoted to detective this last month, served as a patrol officer, member of the UIPD Active Threat Team, and now Metro SWAT. Alec, first question is, why do you want to do law enforcement?
It's a job that I've always just enjoyed. I mean, it was one of those things I never really thought I was going to go do when I was coming out of high school, going to college, thinking about things I wanted to do. Law enforcement really wasn't on my radar, and it just randomly kind of came up, and I was like, this looks like a fun job. And I've always just been a people person. I've enjoyed talking to people, interacting with people, and it's a job that I can do that every day, and it's a job where you can have fun and you can, make a real, true difference in people's lives and, really help them out.
Stay safe out there. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, and I appreciate you having me on.
Great to have Detective Alec Keegan, University of Illinois Police Department, our law enforcement official of the month.
But then he said this about the Philadelphia Eagles. He said, and I quote, "The Eagles are paying everybody. That seems like the way, whatever they're doing," end quote. Hey, Cincinnati. Your quarterback has said, I've been all in with this franchise from the moment that you drafted me, so don't let me down. The guys we need, find a way to pay them or else. Remember, Cincinnati, you've been warned. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Travis Kelce is in no rush to make a decision on his future. Coming off a quiet performance in the Super Bowl 59 loss to the Eagles, Kelce plans on taking some time before deciding if he'll play a 13th NFL season.
As you see yourself or not feel yourself have the success that you once used to have, man, it's a tough pill to swallow. And then on top of that, to not be there in the biggest moments, knowing your team's counting on you, man. It's just a tough reality. I'm going to take some time to figure it out. I think I owe it to my teammates that if I do come back, that it's going to be something that it's a wholehearted decision. I'm not half-assing it. I think I could play. It's just whether or not I'm motivated or it's the best decision for me.
Travis Kelce on the New Heights podcast. In the week leading up to the Super Bowl, he repeatedly said he planned to play in 2025. Ohio State's finalizing a deal to hire former Lions coach and Patriots defensive coordinator Matt Patricia as its new DC. Dodgers likely start Yoshi Yamamoto when they open the season against the Cubs in Tokyo March 18th. Roki Sasaki could make his major league debut the next day. Angels third baseman Anthony Rendon will have hip surgery, expected to miss significant time. Hasn't played more than 58 games in any season since 2021.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Thursday as the NBA heads towards the All-Star break, I'll tell you how many teams are actually title contenders. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
From Studio 2 at the worldwide headquarters of ESPN.
Says who?
And the HD studio in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, that's okay.
This is Freddie and Harry.
One more from Big Mike in Texas, one of our other favorites.
Harry.
Yes, sir.
I caught my wife using my black Panasonic palm razor.
No, she did.
And those 4 or 5 whiskers she said she got underneath there. I've been giving her $120 for 2 months because of the money I saved from going to the barber, the $240. And then I caught her using my razor. Now, what should I do?
Oh, she's in the background. She heard
She's
him.
in the car.
This is Freddie and Harry.
He is Harry Douglas. I'm Freddie Coleman. You put us together, and you have the best show on your radio. It's the Afternoon Cool, known as Freddie and Harry. Thank you very much. And we are here on the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80, as well as tune in and always tell that smart speaker to play ESPN Radio 10 minutes away from our midweek check-in. You're probably saying to yourself, there's nothing to look forward to. There's no NFL. We got things out there this weekend, even starting tonight, that you're going to say to yourself, I'm glad Freddie and Harry told me. That comes your way in about 10 minutes. Well, Travis Kelce tried to tell it and not tried to tell it. Each and every Tuesday, he and his brother Jason Kelce on the New Heights podcast that keeps getting more and more people paying attention because it is a fabulous watch. It is a fabulous listen. He knew the question was going to be out there from his bro. Bro, what you going to do with your future? Are you staying or leaving Kansas City? Travis Kelce played coy and not play coy.
I've been fortunate over the past 5-6 years. I've played more football than anybody. So it's because the people that are in that building, the fact that we keep going to these AFC championships and these Super Bowls, and that means I'm playing an extra 3 games more than everybody else in the entire league. And that's a lot of wear and tear on your body. It's a lot of time spent in the building. That process can be grueling. It can weigh on you. It can make you better, and it could drive you crazy at the same time. And right now, it's one of those things where it was kind of driving me crazy this year. As you see yourself or not feel yourself have the success that you once used to have, man, it's a tough pill to swallow. And then on top of that, to not be there in the biggest moments, knowing your team's counting on you, man. It's just a tough reality. I'm going to take some time to figure it out. I think I owe it to my teammates that if I do come back, that it's going to be something that it's a wholehearted decision. I'm not half-assing it. And I think I could play. It's just whether or not I'm motivated or it's the best decision for me. I know everybody wants to know whether or not I'm playing next year, and right now I'm just kicking everything down the road. I'm kicking every can I can down the road, and I'm not making any crazy decisions. As you see yourself or not feel yourself have the success that you once used to have, man, it's a tough pill to swallow. And then on top of that, to not be there in the biggest moments, knowing your team's counting on you, man. Those are all extremely hard things to. It's just a tough reality.
You can hear it in his voice, Freddie. Like he understands that things are nearing the end, and when you can't perform at the level that you have once performed at, especially on a postseason level, part of the reason why Travis Kelce is going into the Hall of Fame is because how dominant he has been in postseason play, and he's only second to Jerry Rice when it comes to postseason receiving yards, and also postseason touchdowns. But at the same time, Travis Kelce has given us 11 years, and when you look at the games he's been able to play from a postseason standpoint, it is an entire extra season he's been able to play. And it's kind of the conversation that I have a lot when it comes to LeBron James. Look at the longevity. We look at 20-plus years for LeBron, but look how many postseasons and how deep he's been in the postseason year in and year out. Now, when you look at Kelce, this is the first year in his 11-year career that he averaged under 10 yards per catch. And it was career lows across the board. Receiving yards, career low. Yards per catch, career low. Yards after catch, career low. Touchdowns, receiving that is, career low. Father Time has a way of telling us all that, it might be nearing the end, but what he has also earned is the time to be able to come to his final decision.
Absolutely.
I don't think anybody should be rushing Travis Kelce because what he's meant to that organization and being a big part of the 3 Super Bowls that they've been able to win and the last 7 AFC Championship game appearances in a row. Travis Kelce is a major part of that. But just watching that game and just watching how he was moving, it wasn't what I've seen from Travis Kelce in previous years.
It wasn't fluid.
The end may be near.
I said it before the season started, and it became even more crystallized even before Sunday. I think this is going to be it for Travis Kelce. To me, that amounted to a concession speech. Hearing that from Travis Kelce. Yep. And it has to be very, very scary for anybody, something that you'd love to do and have succeeded at the highest level for so long. But I get the sense that Travis Kelce wants to be the guy that leaves 1 year too early instead of 1 year too late. You do not want to be a charity case at the end of your Hall of Fame career involving Travis Kelce. And I get it. When you've been associated with something and you were able to do something like that for that long, that nobody saw coming, being one of those Hall of Fame tight ends that we think about the 5 greatest tight ends in history of the NFL, Travis Kelce's name is going to be in that room. There's absolutely no doubt about that. So it cannot be easy to say it's easy to just walk away from that. I've never been in the habit of telling grown people what to do when it comes to their life, when it comes to their career. If you believe you can play 1 more year, then you should go ahead and do it. But then I heard that on the podcast with his brother, and it sounded like it was a concession speech. It didn't say, I know I'm going to take some time to make this decision, but I wonder how much of his mind is already made up. And remember yesterday when we heard from Patrick Mahomes saying no matter what he decides, he's always going to be welcomed back with open arms. When I heard that, that was his way of saying that absolutely he's been thinking about it. He may be close to making that decision to go away and not come back. Whatever he decides, we're going to be here for him no matter what. And when you have someone like Jason Kelce, a brother went through the same thing.
That's right.
Not that long ago. You're going to rely on his counsel to say, okay, if I'm going to do this, what do I have to do? What kind of mechanisms do I need to put in place to ease that transition like you were able to? So at least he has that and that person to bounce something off. I just don't think he wants to rev it back up and do it all over again for one last hurrah. I just think mentally and physically, Travis Kelce in that concession speech has had enough.
And that's the part about the business that a lot of people on the outside don't really understand, how taxing things can be. You have to devote so much of your time away from your family, away from your loved ones to be able to be at the top of the pinnacle. And I would never forget, this is one of many things that I learned from Tony Gonzalez, right? In order to be the best at your craft, like the people you love have to take a back seat. So time with your significant other has to take a back seat. Time with your family, time with your brother. If you have kids, time with your little ones. All of it has to take a back seat. That's why you hear a lot of these players when they get up there for their Hall of Fame speeches, they reference their significant other, their wives or their girlfriends, whoever it may be, their family members, because those are the people who give you the ultimate sacrifice outside of yourself sacrificing what you have to do.
Yeah.
those people have to take a back seat so you can be able to be the best version of yourself, especially if you're going to be wearing a gold jacket one day. And people just don't understand how taxing it can be, because you're waking up at 4:35 a.m. every day. You're not getting back home to 8:30 p.m. And to do that consistently over and over again, and the run that the Kansas City Chiefs have had since 2018, when they made that AFC Championship game, it has gone on from the off-season training assessments all the way into, late January, February for them.
How much did you bounce when you had to make that decision? How much of that did you bounce off your brother Tony, a man who was in a first-round pick in the NBA by the New York Knicks, still playing overseas, still doing his thing, still playing something that he loves? What was that like, that conversation, you two bouncing it off each other, especially when you realize I'm at a lot closer to the sunset than any middle of the day sunrise when it comes to my career?
So the first thing about it, Freddie, it's a blessing to be able to have someone that you can talk to and understand you 100%. Because look, so we love our parents, but there's sometimes where our parents don't understand what we're going through, but we can understand each other. And we have amazing parents. But it's just the nature of the business. When I'm playing professional sport, he's playing a professional sport. And I remember when I got released from the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
My brother had just got released from his NBA team. So instead of me being down in the dumps, I went down to Florida to spend time with him, and we were basically laughing about it that we're both jobless at the same time.
Wow.
And that was our way of being able to get through it amongst each other. Now, I told him when I was going to retire, when I, basically wasn't going to play anymore, I talked to him all the time. Hey, man, when are you going to be done? Because my brother's still overseas in Portugal playing.
Mm-hmm.
He's been playing professional since 2019. And he was like, yeah, man, I still got it. I feel good. But I'm pretty sure when it's his time to be done, he's going to come to me about it, because we can relate to each other. And Jason McCourty and Devin McCourty, the twins, those two guys can rely on one another to be able to give each other advice and be there for that moral support too, because there's nothing like having someone there that is going through the exact same things that you're going through.
How much time did you take? Because Travis Kelce said he's going to take his time. He's not putting any kind of date line on it. He's basically saying, I'm going to go away for a minute and take my time before I make any kind of decision. How much time did you take?
So after my last year, that off season, I had another surgery. I tore my groin again. And after I rehab, I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to try to play again. And I remember I went out to Oakland and did a workout with them. But then it started to dawn on me. I said, I'm not going all the way to no damn California. And I just had a little daughter that was like 1 or 2 years old. And because I wasn't going to move my family all the way out there. All my wife's family was in Atlanta. Right. So I was like, you know what? It's it. That's it. Time to move over. And I was already transitioning in the off season, my last 3 years, like doing internships at the NFL office, at radio stations, and doing different things at transition, when I finally said I was going to be done.
Great stuff by Harry Douglas. Hit him on Twitter at HDouglas83. I'm Freddie Coleman. Hit me on Twitter at Coleman ESPN. We are Freddie and Harry, the Afternoon Cool, presented by Progressive Insurance on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Just because there's no football this weekend doesn't mean that there's nothing going on for you to watch this weekend.
1, 2, 3, hike.
The 3 most important things we need to see this week in football.
All right, just give me all 3.
Turn it up and down. Turn it up and down.
It's time for the Freddie and Harry Midweek Check-In.
With no football, by the way, but that doesn't mean there are things that are not going to be there in terms of stuff that you can pay attention to. That's what the midweek check-in is all about. So Harry's going to give you 3. I'm going to give you 3 this week. You can say to yourself, no football, but I did not have to worry about just looking into a blank TV.
Hold on, Freddie, because I did you dirty there. I did you dirty because we had production made for this, and I was like, we're going to do it. We'll do non-football stuff.
Okay.
And I didn't put it on the screen there. So you know what, Eric, hit the music.
The 3 important things we need to see this week in sports.
1, 2, 3.
It's time for the Freddie and Harry.
Let's check in here.
Midweek check-in.
That sounded pretty good, actually. I'm digging that. So we got new production. No football doesn't mean there's something That's something going on. Oh, no. There's plenty of things you need to know about that you're going to be glad that you're going to say, I like it. I love it. I'm glad that Freddie and Harry told me about it. So this is the Midweek Check-In brought to you by Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Get great deals on the hottest tickets. This way you can experience it live.
Number 1.
So number 1, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all do not know, Shannon Penn and Freddie Coleman are faithful, and I mean faithful with a capital F, New York Knicks fans. If you know me, you know I do the show from Atlanta, Georgia, baby. ATL Stand Up. I'm a faithful with a capital F, Atlanta Hawks fans. You also know between the two teams so far this year, they've played 3 games. The Hawks are 2-1 versus the New York Knicks. I understand where the Knicks are seated right now in the Eastern Conference, but reality is reality. The Hawks are 2-1 versus the New York Knicks this season. Well, tonight, we have another showdown. Game 4 between these two teams. The Hawks and the Knicks at 7:30 p.m. I'm going to be locked in because we pretty much know what's going to happen. We're going to have a good game, and may the best team win. Right, Freddie and Shannon?
I hope they stomp the feathers off your team. And then you got to deal with it tomorrow because I'm going to be merciless. I'm going to be ruthless. I'm going to be as classless as the Dodgers were when they beat the Yankees in the World Series if my New York Knicks win tonight.
Valentine's week?
I don't care. We're not married. What do I care?
That's the way you treat your
I'm not buying you flowers and candy.
Partner in crime?
I'm not buying you flowers and candy. What do I care?
I could just imagine what the group chat's going to look like during this game.
Oh, my God. Absolutely. My word. But it should be a fun game because Trae Young, he loves playing against the New York Knicks. And the New York Knicks, they put on the Pacers last night.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
The location of this game is in Madison Square Garden.
I know. He loves playing at the Garden.
That's basically Trae Young's second home.
He ain't got no home. He ain't got no second home. He ain't got no first home. He ain't got
Batman Returns.
Oh, my God.
Batman Returns.
Well, hopefully the Joker will show up and send him away out of Gotham as far as that goes. Staying with the NBA. Who's going to shine during NBA All-Star Weekend? If I could give the NBA any kind of advice for All-Star Weekend, pay attention to what Unrivaled is doing. Because they have that kind of All-Star break. They're having one-on-one competition involving their players. They have like a different bracket. They have 16 players. They have quarterfinals and semifinals. I've been begging for this for years. During All-Star Weekend, replace the slam dunk contest with a one-on-one contest. 16 players. Make sure that some of the top players, you don't want ragamuffins playing against guys who are really, really good. Have like 8 on one side called the Oscar Robertson division, 8 on the other side called the Jerry West division. The first round games, you play to 5. Quarterfinals play to 7. Semifinals play to 9. And the finals, you play to 12. You can't tell me watching that courtside with everybody in that building would not be so much better than the slam dunk contest. I love NBA All-Star Weekend for the three-point contest. But if I could give advice to Adam Silver, the boss of the NBA, bring a little one-on-one, and everything about the All-Star Weekend will be so much better.
I want to give a shout-out, too, to the Unrivaled Women's Basketball League, because right now that's exactly what they're doing. They're doing a one-on-one tournament with their best players, like tournament-style one-on-one. So that's great. And so I got to ask you guys, if the NBA were to do, say, a one-on-one tournament, right? Yeah, who you taking? Like who? I know matchups are big, but if you had to take one player right now to win a one-on-one tournament, who would that be?
KD. I'm taking Kevin Durant.
I'm taking Nikola Jokic. Good luck trying to stop him in a one-on-one game.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good luck trying to stop that dude in a one-on-one game. Because he'll defend you just enough, but that pressure will be on to make three-point shots. But then he can make any shot. He can back you down. He can step out. He can hit you with the Dirk, up and unders and everything. I'll take Nikola Jokic. Close second, Victor Wembanyama, because he's like 8'9" and try to get a shot off above him. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Jeez. Exactly. NBA, we're just trying to help.
Give me the easy money sniper.
Okay. This Kevin Durant, efficient score. Sure, why not?
Number 2.
Y'all, when you look at the top 5 when it comes to college basketball right now, 4 of the top 5 teams are from the SEC. Number 1, Auburn, who's led by Broome. Number 2, Alabama, who's led by Mark Sears. Number 3, Florida, who's led by Walter Clayton Jr. And then number 5, Tennessee, who's led by Chaz Lanier. When it comes to March Madness and it comes to seeding, could we see 4 number 1 seeds come from the SEC? Now, in order for that to happen, Duke will have to take a major spill in the later part of the season, or the late part of the season, I would say. But
ain't happening in the ACC this year. ACC is a dumpster fire.
Oh, I know. There are only 2 teams ranked right now, and that's Duke and Clemson. The Louisville Cardinals should be ranked, but that's a story for another day.
Those be the only 3 getting in.
Exactly. But it's just fascinating to me, man, how dominant the SEC has been. You look at the top 25, and you have teams top to bottom ranked amongst that top 25.
Yeah, and staying with that, when did the SEC become a basketball conference? That's what I want to know. When did that happen? You got number 1 Auburn taking on number 2 Alabama this weekend, 4 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. College Game Day is going to be there. First time ever in SEC basketball history that number 1 versus number 2 are going to meet. Now, the women have had that before with South Carolina, Tennessee, LSU, what they've been able to do. But to have that kind of atmosphere for a basketball game in the SEC involving these 2 schools who can't stand each other when it comes to football. I wonder how much of that hatred, hate, that they're going to bring to the table, which should be an awesome atmosphere when that happens on College Game Day, is going to be there. It's going to be a football-type atmosphere when number 1 Auburn and number 2 Alabama get together at 4 o'clock Eastern time this Saturday. That is going to be so much fun, just having everything there, and it's going to be in Tuscaloosa as well. Man, oh man, that'll be the most times that anybody who couldn't stand basketball is going to watch an SEC basketball game involving those 2 teams this Saturday.
Number 3,
I'm going to go to Major League Baseball.
Okay.
When you look at the 27 championships that the New York Yankees have been able to win over the years, clearly something is going on amongst that organization, because they don't even think the same. They don't talk the same. They don't walk around like the Yankees that I grew up watching in the 90s and, times like that with Derek Jeter and all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how are they going to respond after this World Series loss to the Los Angeles Dodgers? They made a lot of changes when it came to free agency. They brought some players in, pitching to be exact as well. How are they going to respond in 2025? Now, Shannon,
okay,
E-Dog, do y'all feel like the New York Yankees are going to avenge their World Series loss, in which they lost in 5 games to the Los Angeles Dodgers, blew a 5-0 lead in the 5th inning of Game 5? Do you think they're going to avenge that World Series loss that looked so bad this past season?
I think they will. They reloaded. The lineup looks good. I mean, it's hard to replace Juan Soto, no doubt, but that money was spent well. They got I think the best closer in the league now is Devin Williams, Max Fried, number 2 behind Garrett Cole will be great for the postseason. And then the lineup, like I said, Bellinger and Goldschmidt. I still think they need someone to lead off in front of Judge, but I think they will, Harry. I think they will.
I just find it amazing that the New York Yankees and the Steinbrenner family are talking about spending excess money at the Dodgers, and they weren't exactly going to big lots getting players. That's what I find funny. They spent a good amount of money as well to fortify their lineup for the Dodgers and the World Series.
All that crying and whining.
I know. Billionaire first world problems. My number 3, when you use the great word respond, how the Yankees respond after what happened in the World Series. Can the UConn women respond by actually winning a big game?
Ooh.
When they played number 4 South Carolina, 1 p.m. Sunday, Eastern time on ABC.
Where you at, Paige?
It's been more than a minute since UConn has won a big non-conference top 10, top 15 matchup against a team like that. That used to be routine for UConn. Playing Tennessee, no problem. Playing Notre Dame, no problem. Lately, they haven't been winning those games. So now you got a litmus test against a team that you know is going to be ornery after the way that they lost over the weekend to Texas, as Texas got that kind of revenge. And Dawn Staley's going to be feeling pretty good as a coach because her Eagles, E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles, won the Super Bowl. So you know she won't have a loss coming off of that. Can UConn actually win one of those games they used to win routinely when they were doing their thing and ruling women's college basketball?
Where you at, Gino?
Paige Beckers, everybody. Where you at? Because South Carolina's going to be ready for you. Give us your off-season wish list for your NFL team. You can do that at 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. And like Harry Douglas, we'll ask a former NFL player, what was it like to make the decision to walk away even if you felt you could still play. That person joins us next on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. But Harry has this word for you, so don't go anywhere as you hear this from Vivid Seats.
So if you love sports and like to go to games like I do, then Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With their Game Changer Rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy, folks, for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3, hopefully for my Hawks tonight, Trae Young to be exact, live and in person from your favorite seat in Madison Square Garden.
Ain't happening.
Plus, every ticket is back with the 100% buy guarantee, giving you a peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out, folks. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of who, Freddie? ESPN.
Go Knicks.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Thursday, an undefeated season or a three-peat. I'll tell you which feat will actually happen first. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I'm in a slump. My energy took a nosedive out of nowhere, and I just don't have the motivation to get things done.
You're over 40. Could be lower testosterone. Have you tried Nugenix Total T?
Nugenix, the testosterone booster on TV?
That's right. Look, I felt the same plunge in my energy after I turned 40, so I tried out Nugenix to see if it would help me.
Did Nugenix make a difference for you?
Night and day. My stamina's way up now. I'm building lean muscle at the gym. I'm totally back on my game. And you could be too. Just send a text to Nugenix. They'll send you a complimentary bottle so you can try it for yourself.
Text EDGE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text EDGE to 321-321. That's EDGE to 321-321. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We all have a mission in life, something that drives us to explore, to grow, to love. And when we discover it, we're made whole. At OSF Healthcare, we want you to be the best you possible. We're here for you on your schedule to make your life just a little bit easier. Whatever your mission is, we're here to support it. Your life, our mission. Learn more at osfhealthcare.org/mission.
Attention drivers. When it comes to your car, trust matters. That's why savvy drivers choose PDR Automotive for top-notch service and unbeatable quality. From routine maintenance to complex repairs, their team of expert technicians has the skill and experience to keep your vehicle running smoothly. At PDR Automotive, customer satisfaction is their priority, and they won't rest until your car is back on the road performing at its best. Visit PDR Automotive in Urbana today, family owned and operated for more than 50 years. They're what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Take charge of the years ahead with a smart, sound investment strategy and business succession plan. Busey Bank's business and wealth management experts help you envision your best future with powerful insights and proven strategies. Building business and growing wealth since 1868. Busey Bank, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
There are some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a large unexpected inheritance. An always on the verge of death phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone. Up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard so you can get a new one. Just trade in any phone from our top brands on any unlimited plan. With new line on My Plan. Additional terms apply for trade-in and pay off your phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. In the week leading up to Super Bowl 59, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce said multiple times he planned to play in 2025. But he had a different tone on the latest edition of the New Heights podcast released today. Coming off a 4-catch for 39 yards performance in the Super Bowl loss to the Eagles, Kelce said he'll take some time before making a decision on whether he'll return for a 13th NFL season. ESPN NFL front office insider Mike Tannenbaum.
He's an all-time great, first ballot Hall of Famer, but it's time. And when you start talking about it publicly like that, you know, the old expression, if you're talking about retiring, you are retired. He's not the same player. He's skill diminished. He can't separate the way he once did. And again, taking nothing away from an incredible career, he's just clearly not the same player, and it's probably the appropriate time to go off into the sunset.
ESPN's Pete Thamels reporting Ohio State's finalizing a deal to hire former Lions coach and Patriots defensive coordinator Matt Patricia as its DC. Team USA named Winnipeg's Connor Hellebuyck its starting goaltender for the NHL's Four Nations face-off. U.S. opens up against Finland tomorrow, 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Kennedy, coming up Thursday. I'll tell you which teams are contending and which teams are rebuilding in 2025. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
He is Harry Douglas, Freddie Coleman together on the Afternoon Cool, known as Freddie and Harry, presented by Progressive Insurance on XM Channel 80, as well as tune in. And don't forget to tell your smart speaker to play ESPN Radio. Travis Kelce, Chiefs tight end, on the New Heights podcast with his brother Jason. Talked about his future in the NFL if he still wants to have one.
I know everybody wants to know whether or not I'm playing next year, and right now I'm just kicking everything down the road. I'm kicking every can I can down the road, and I'm not making any crazy decisions. As you see yourself or not feel yourself have the success that you once used to have, man, it's a tough pill to swallow. And then on top of that, to not be there in the biggest moments, knowing your team's counting on you, man. Those are all extremely hard things to. It's just a tough reality.
No doubt about that. That could be his reality, meaning not being an NFL player maybe sooner than later. Let's bring in an FOS friend of this show, like Harry Douglas and Travis Kelce. He played in the National Football League. He's Andrew Hawkins, ESPN NFL analyst. Hit him on Twitter at Hawk. All right, Hawk, you heard that from Travis Kelce. To me, it sounds like a concession speech that's it. What did it sound like to you?
Yeah, I think there's a little fire to that smoke. I mean, I know it's right after the Super Bowl, but even the obviously the tone of his voice, it's something he's clearly been thinking about longer than just the end of the season. As players, we all have to have tunnel vision on our goal. But I can tell you this, and Harry can attest to this. You're typically the last one who's convinced that you're not the same physically as you once were. The fact that he is there and acknowledging that tells you how long he's been having this conversation in his mind.
So, Hawk, I would also say this, man. Him having a brother in Jason Kelce who played a long time, and those guys' relationship, and watching his brother retire and seeing how happy his brother is, even though, you know, it's nothing like being in that locker room and being with the guys and being out there on the football field. But the simple fact that his brother doesn't have to have his body being beat up. He can spend more time with his family, his significant other, and just basically do whatever you want to do, can be in the media, that whole nine. How big of an influence do you think that's going to be when it comes to Travis Kelce making this decision whether he's going to play in 2025 or not?
You know, I think it definitely plays into at least how he's informed, right? Like, you know, we both, and all, you know, Travis Kelce included, have all had siblings who have played at a high level. And what happens is you get a front row seat for some of these things and decisions and that you go through beyond it. Now, I'll say this. I mean, I spent a large part of the back end of my football career preparing for life afterwards, and by all accounts, I did a really, really good job to do so. And even still, it is a very, very hard decision to make that call. The thing that you've been working towards since you were 7 years old, it outlasts your relationship. You've had it longer than you've had your friends. You've known it longer than you've known your wife in a lot of situations. And so for that to no longer be your identity, it's tough, no matter what kind of opportunities you have on the other end of it. So I do think having Jason there and having just gone through it a year ago is extremely beneficial to Travis as he starts to have these conversations with himself and gets ready to make this decision. But unfortunately, being an athlete is a marriage that is guaranteed to end in divorce, and no matter how prepared you are for it, it does not feel good all the time. So,
great stuff by Andrew Hawkins, ESPN NFL analyst. Hit him on Twitter at Hawk, on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. One last one about that, because I'll never forget when Brett Favre retired. And I said, man, that's got to be a scary proposition, something you've done since you were 8 years of age. And then that first Sunday in September rolls around, and you're not going to be a part of it. That first weekend of football, you're not going to be a part of it. Andrew, what was that like for you, that first Sunday when you realized, hey, I'm not a part of this?
Yeah, you know, and that's a great question. I think it is it's a surreal moment. You know, I was definitely the kind of person that was excited not to get my body beat up anymore. You know, I cannot say on this side that I miss, like, going through the process of preparing and getting hit and all those things. What you miss is you miss the locker room, you miss the guys, you miss your process, because all professional athletes are very processed people. You miss the competitive nature. There has not been a replacement for, hey, like, I think I'm the best at this and I think I'm better than you, and we get to go line up immediately and decide a winner, right? There is no version of that in this version of my reality where I get that itch scratched. And then also, to your point about August rolling around, it was weird. I would be sore all year long. And then when late July rolled around, my body would just kind of adapt. And, like, all the aches that I had in the offseason just mysteriously went away. And then when I got done playing, the same thing still happens to this day. I feel the best in late July, August, September, almost like my body knows that it's training camp season, and it's not allowed to ache at this moment of the year. And it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, this is exactly what my year-to-year reality is.
So the funny thing, Hawk, about what you just said is that, you know, both of us both look like we can still play. And I'm pretty sure people tell you, hey, man, you should go back and play. Because I know when people say that to me, I look at them like they crazy as hell. No. I have no desire to go back and play. And they always ask me why. And it's the simple fact that I can wake up, even though I still have some little bruises. It's nothing like when you playing and getting your block knocked off in practice and you're leaning on one another. You just came from a game and you got to go work out on Monday. You ain't recovered from Sunday. You got to work out on Tuesday and Wednesday. You're not recovered from Sunday still. Like that, that's a different feeling. And for me, Hawk, I haven't worked out in 9 months. And I love to have the luxury of saying, I don't want to work out, damn it. I don't feel like I'm forced to work. Now, I'm going to start back, but I just love that luxury of not being able to, like, having to work out.
Yeah, we're cut from the same cloth, Harry, because I'll get in spurts where I'll work out like I'm preparing for a season for 3 months, and then I'll spend a whole year not even looking at it again, right? Because when you get paid to do something for so long and you did it at the highest level of, like, I was working out 6-7 hours a day for years.
Wow.
You know, it's just a different reality. To Harry's point, you do enjoy not having to go crush your body on a day-to-day basis throughout the year. So I'm right there along with you, Harry.
All right, this is a question for Harry and Hawk, right? Like right now, or I'll give you a little time to work out, Harry, because you said you're just getting back into it. How many routes you got in you right now, Harry? If you had to go out there for a team, how many routes you get? I'll give you a month to get in shape. How many routes can you go out there and give me right now, Harry?
Hey, man, give me a slant, give me a seam, give me an out route. That's all I need. I don't want no damn go route. I don't want no post. I don't want to pull no hamstring. Don't give me none of that. Just give me the 3 I just named, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, I'm with Harry. I can still get you in a slam. My quickness is intact. Like I know it's not going nowhere. I'm about to be I'm 39 next month. If you gave me a month to work out, and I'm talking about I would do 2 a days, I could get pretty close to the worst receiver in the NFL.
I love it.
Great perspective from Andrew Hawkins and reality as the ESPN NFL analyst on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. Well, the reality when it comes to the team that you know pretty well, Andrew, the Cincinnati Bengals. Their quarterback, Joe Burrow, has been very vocal about saying, hey, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Trey Hendrickson, you can't let any of these guys walk out that door with no compensation in return. We know it'll be impossible for the Cheapinati Bengals to keep all 3. Who's more vital to the Bengals between T. Higgins or Trey Hendrickson?
Whew, that's a tough one. I mean, yeah, it's a nuanced answer because on the surface, it's not just player for player, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Because to your point, it feels like Joe Burrow is almost drawing the line in the sand and telling the Bengals brass, like, hey, like, yo, this is going to be a partnership. We all got to do our part. I'm willing to make concessions on my end and convince other guys to make concessions if you're willing to work with, what my hopes and dreams are for what the team looks like. So I'm saying that to say, like, yeah, Trey Hendrickson is amazing. But if Joe Burrow wants T. Higgins, and that's a quarterback that you don't want to end up like Carlson Palmer, who refused to come to camp my rookie year when I went for Cincinnati, then there's a double value to it of, yes, you get the player, but also you show the quarterback, we're in this together in this quest to going to get Lombardi, and we're also willing to do some things that we have not historically done, and we're hoping that a quarterback or receiver, a tight end, or maybe a DN also are willing to do some things that typically the leaders in those clubhouses are willing to do for organizations.
Hey, Andrew, always a pleasure, my brother. Keep up the great work. Enjoy the offseason. I'm sure we'll talk to you soon. Take care and be well.
Appreciate it, fellas.
Oh, great stuff by Andrew Hawkins, ESPN NFL analyst. Also a great follow on Twitter at Hawk, joining us here on Freddie and Harry. You can hit us up on Twitter. Harry's handle at HDouglas83, mine at Coleman ESPN. So you get a chance to play Santa Claus for your NFL team. What is the offseason wish list you have for that team? You take over the nation on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app like this.
Your opinion matters.
Okay, please call me. Please call me.
Call Freddie and Harry now.
Hello.
1-888-SAY-ESPN.
How's it going? Oh, hey.
That's 1-888-729-3776.
There are some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a large unexpected inheritance. An always on the verge of death phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone. Up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard so you can get a new one. Just trade in any phone from our top brands on any unlimited plan. With new line on my plan. Additional terms apply for trade-in and pay off your phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards scoring courtside seats for your favorite team. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can score courtside seats. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but courtside seats can be astronomical. Maybe if your team plays in a smaller market, you could swing it. Even still, it's unlikely. Maybe fourth row, which are still incredible seats that you'll enjoy greatly. Savings possible. Courtside, long shot. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Progressive cannot guarantee that someone really tall will not sit in front of you at the game, rendering your excellent seats just okay.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you need to sell a home and buy another one, talk to Nate Evans of eXp Realty. His Coming Soon program can help you do both on your own timeline. Pre-market your current home with the Coming Soon program to create demand and get more money, and have first access to great homes about to come on the market before anyone else.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to theNateEvansGroup.com.
JT Barnhart, president of OSF Healthcare.
As part of my role as president of OSF and have the campuses in Urbana and Danville, it's really just promoting the services that we offer, all of the avenues that we have to take great care of people who live in this area. We had a great opportunity with the Urbana Park District to help support their new wellness center. We did a scholarship fund for the next 5 years that'll allow 400 to 500 community members who live in Urbana to be able to access the center with OSF. And so that came out great. We want to be easy to use, quick access, be able to schedule appointments timely, be able to get seen by specialists within a week or two. That's not always the case in town, so we pride ourselves on that. We hope you don't ever need an emergency room, but if you do get hurt and you are injured, RER, I think, is top notch. And Dr. Bloomstrand in Urbana, the program that he runs, our nursing care, we're going to get you in quick, going to get you taken care of and get you home. Just always love to promote the service in the emergency room.
We already touched on how great the website is. For more information, osfhealthcare.org.
First Draft with Mike Greenberg, Mel Kiper, and Field Yates.
RJ Harvey is a kid, compact, low base, strong runner, explosive runner, can catch the ball out of backfield, got better in terms of ball security as his career went along, goes to Central Florida, becomes this dynamic running back who's carrying the ball 25, 28 times a game. It's impressive.
Mel and I are going to be fighting over Xavier Restrepo from Miami. Is our guy.
You can watch First Draft on YouTube or listen wherever you get your podcast.
This Friday, Captain America arrives. Sam, the world needs heroes. Here I am. Get tickets now for the first Marvel movie event of the year. Let's go! With Anthony Mackie. I'm going in. Giancarlo Esposito. Stand by for proof of that. And Harrison Ford. I'll show the world I've changed. You want me? Come and get me! Captain America Brave New World. See it in IMAX this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG-13. This film may be inappropriate for children under 13.
This is Joe and Q.
Think about this real quick. Eagles offensive coordinators for Jalen Hurts. 2020, Doug Peterson, the head coach. 2021 to 22, Shane Steichen. Ryan Johnson in 2023. Kellen Moore in 2024. We talk about it all the time in the National Football League. You don't want to have turnover. They have nothing but turnover at the offensive coordinator position, and yet Jalen Hurts is still finding ways to win and dominate.
Joe and Q. Weekdays from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. College Basketball Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's an SEC showdown in College Station.
The right angle, whips a left, step back, left wing three, high archer, good!
The Arkansas Razorbacks go head-to-head with 8th-ranked Texas A&M.
Two to play, streaks down the lane, floats it up, and the layup is good at the buzzer!
Arkansas at number 8, Texas A&M. Coverage begins Saturday morning at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. Presented by Robinhood.
The Four Nations face-off is here. It all comes down to one word.
Pride.
For the United States.
What a shot by Jack Eichel!
And the Stars and Stripes.
A blast from Austin Matthews!
For Finland.
Barkov, incredible!
And the Lions. For the entire world to see.
Pride is on the line.
Four Nations face-off. USA Finland presented by Enterprise. Thursday at 8 Eastern on ESPN and ESPN+.
I'm Clinton Yates, kiddos, host of the podcast ESPN Daily. Every weekday morning, I'll bring you the best sports story you'll hear all day. Today on ESPN Daily. Ahead of their first head-to-head matchup of the season, Paolo Uggetti breaks down how the juggernaut women's hoops teams at USC and UCLA are making believers out of everyone, one sold-out game at a time. That's ESPN Daily. Follow us and listen wherever you get good podcast.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Let's live life. Living life, this change for the better. Icy Cuban chain on my Louis V sweater. Yeah, diamonds on my lady and she looking good. I took it to another level because I know I could.
It's the afternoon cool known as Freddie and Harry. You got my man Harry Douglas with me, Freddie Coleman, and with you too on Sirius XM Channel 80, as well as tune in. And don't forget to tell that smart speaker of yours to play ESPN Radio. You get to play Santa Claus. Elves optional, but you get a chance to play Santa Claus with the offseason wish list for your NFL team. What do you want your NFL team to do this offseason? Let's hear from you at 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. One of our favorites is Easy E. Eric in New York. E. Dizzle, we know you are a New York Giants fan. So what is the offseason wish list for your boys in Big Blue?
Okay, first of all, Freddie, how you doing, my brother?
Good, brother. How are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great. And Harry, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. You know what's tonight, E. Dizzle. You know what's tonight. Knicks versus Hawks, baby. You know what's going on.
Just take your L. Take your L. But let me say this about my Giants. I really think I'd rather go for Abdul Carter. Get a veteran stopgap. We got to build up the defense. Take Abdul Carter, because that'll help protect the young secondary.
Okay.
Because the quarterback draft is going to be richer next year. And I just rather take that player than bring in a rookie quarterback that's going to struggle mightily with a team that is really, going to struggle anyway. So let's get Abdul Carter in and build it up from there. And also work on the offensive line because, the Eagles had the blueprint, pass rush and beefy boys up front. So let's do it that way.
So, E. Dizzle, I do not hate your thinking because what we witness in the Super Bowl is that when you build through the trenches, your chances of winning, especially dethroning whoever won the Super Bowl the previous year, is sky high. And we look at the Philadelphia Eagles are in the same division as New York Giants. Now, you have a Dexter Lawrence, who is one of the best, a Brian Burns, a Kayvon Thibodeau. You add a Abdul Carter to that as well and become relentless from a defensive line standpoint and a pass rush standpoint and also stopping the run. And then you have the flexibility where you can have all three of those guys in at the same time. And I'm talking about Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and Abdul Carter, and figure out which mismatch you can have on that defensive line going against the opposing team's offensive line. I like it. Now, in saying that, that means now that the Giants are probably not going to be a good football team because at some point you got to get your quarterback, but that means they're banking on 2026, a richer quarterback draft if you decide to take Abdul Carter. If he's there when you're picking. If he's not there, then if the quarterback's there of your liking, then you take him.
You got to draft for your division because those are the teams you're going to be facing more than anybody else. And the king of the hill right now are the Philadelphia Eagles. You got to have a chance to level that off and take your chances winning those non-conference games and non-division games. I'm with you. I like that thought process by man Easy E. Scott in Illinois, give us the offseason wish list for your NFL team, my friend.
Okay, so I'm going to vent for a second, too, about this. The Bears, they need an offensive line, but my biggest wish list is I'm a White Sox fan. I'm miserable all summer long. And then in the fall, I'd rather rake leaves than watch the Bears. I just want to watch some good. I just want to enjoy watching the game. I know we're in a tough division. We're not going to win the division, but just I want to have fun watching the game again. And I want it to be, somewhat competitive, Enjoy football again. That's all. That's all I ask for.
So Scott, let me say this. Like, if you guys can invest in your offensive line and you're going to have cap space on top of, you're probably going to get rid of some people, so it's going to add to your cap space as well. Getting Ben Johnson, in my eyes, was the best thing for your organization because now the run game is going to be at the forefront. And that's from the very first meeting that they have offensively to go ahead and set that tone. You're not going into training camp being pass happy. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not something you talk about. It's literally a lifestyle. And that's the way it was in Detroit. And I'm not trying to say that Chicago's going to beat Detroit.
Right.
But when you have that offensive coordinator and the pass game mirrored off of the run game, it's going to be that way. It has to be that way, especially when you have a second-year quarterback in Caleb Williams who's trying to get things going.
The best thing about having Ben Johnson is his creativity. He's going to be very, very creative, creating mismatches and having that kind of offensive mind with a quarterback that can be a playmaker if he can be harnessed. That creativity is going to pay big dividends sooner than later in Chicago, involving that quarterback and Ben Johnson taking over the play calling as head coach in Chicago. One of our favorites is Steeler Juan in Georgia, Steeler Juan, as a Steelers fan, what is the offseason wish list for that team?
Hey, some quarterback stability. I think we got to go with Daniel, and I think we got to go and try to draft a quarterback that has played a lot of football. A senior that's played, 3-4 good years starting, and then I want to see us bring in Hines Ward to get some discipline behind these wide receivers. There's too much reckless talking and running of the mouth and not enough respect. You bring in an old school player as a coach, you help settle down some of that drama in the locker room. And Harry, I'm still waiting on my poster, Harry.
Still a one. I just seen RC2 down in New Orleans at a restaurant too. So I love the Hines Ward part.
Yeah.
Hines Ward right now, he's a wide receiver coach at Arizona State, and we've seen what that group was able to do, making the college football playoffs and winning the Big 12.
It's going to be a very interesting offseason by the Pittsburgh Steelers, depending on what they do at that quarterback position. So that's an offseason question involving the Steelers. But in the NFC, there's a big offseason question involving the Dallas Cowboys. And, oh, yeah, it begins and ends with you know who owns the team. That's next on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text LIKE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text LIKE to 42424. That's LIKE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You know ABC Heating and Air Conditioning is locally owned and operated for over 50 years. And you know they help you with your HVAC issues any time of the day or night. But did you know now through March 31st, you can save up to $500 off a complete Amana heating and air system? That's right. ABC Heating and Air Conditioning is offering a special until the end of March where you can save up to $500 off a complete Amana system. Call Gina at ABC Heating and Air Conditioning for complete details or visit abcheatingandac.com. Football season is over, but there's still plenty to bet at Circus Sports Illinois. From college basketball, hockey, and everything in between, Circus Sports has it all. Circus Sports Illinois isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, tight money line splits, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for futures on March hoops, props on your favorite players, and more, Circus Sports has you covered. Download the Circus Sports Illinois app or visit circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, could you tell me what aisle your car battery